Hello, welcome back to another video. So if you've been watching the channel, you'll know that or probably last year, we completed this build, which is the Back to the Future Lego time machine. It doesn't say DeLorean on the box, which is why I've not used the term DeLorean. So it occurred to me that obviously these pieces here left, and out of this kit we can make all three DeLoreans, or the different guises of the DeLoreans that featured in the movies. So this here is a representation currently of the one that was in the first one, or the first movie, with the hook that was fitted in 1955, and essentially that was how the DeLorean looked when it came off Emmett Brown's truck at the beginning of the film. And it's worth noting that this has got some really cool features on just itself. So you can lift the bonnet here, yeah, and in here we've got the hoverboard. That's from the second film. It just clips into the front like that. We've also got the box of plutonium. These are stickers, and it's got some plutonium in there. Or be Lego plutonium, just sits in there like that. I love how they made this sort of body fit flush. I think that's great. And I think the whole design of the car is really fantastic. The wheels are very similar to what they were in the movie. The detailing of the cables. I hope in the future to get a lighting kit for this. But that's going to be further down the road when we can afford it. The gull wing doors, again, are just a really cool feature of this. We can see some just inside there, a view of the car actually inside. And the bit I absolutely love, the button on the top, which lights up the flux capacitor. Just in there with a light brick. The one complaint I've probably got, just see the dashboard again. Most of those were stickers, but there is a steering wheel in there, and we've also got the time controls in there. The license plate again from the first film, Out of Time. And we've got some of the bricks, the underside there. Oops, just had a little something drop out there of the inside, but brilliant representation, I think, of the car. The only qualm, as I was about to say, is, and you could fix this easily enough by propping it open if you've got the car on display, is that the gull wing doors are quite loose on this one. They're not very stiff. So when I lift them, if I wanted to display it with the door open or the doors open, as you can see, it's pretty impossible as it stands. So we would have to probably make a couple of modifications just to the doors in order for them to stay open. So what I want to do in this video is basically go through the different options that you see in the film. So if we look at the box here, we've got Back to the Future 1, 2 and 3, and all these parts here, some of which are spare, go into making those other versions of the movie. Again, for display purposes, we've got the Back to the Future plaque there. It just reads manufacturer, Dr. E. Brown Enterprises, year 1985, power 1.21 gigawatts or gigawatts, fuel plutonium, activation speed 88 miles an hour. And a couple of things I love about these minifigures is that, again, if we turn the Doc's head round, then he's in Back to the Future 2 mode, where he's got the shade or the visor shades on. And we can do similar with the Marty character. If we take his hairpiece off, then we can turn him around. And again, he's got the shocked look on his face there. I prefer the original one with that. But again, if you are displaying it, you can pick whichever one you want. And these fit nicely on this little stand. So you can display it in front of or by the side of the time machine. Just looking at the car itself, the build wasn't particularly difficult when you've been building Lego for years. It's got some interesting panel pieces, and I really like how the trim fits round. There's some really fantastic work done at the back of the car there with the headlights and the rear lights. Yeah, and I would imagine that this kit, when lit up, would look pretty awesome. To be fair, it's definitely one of those more interesting kits that I've built. Yeah, and I am a massive fan of Back to the Future, so I couldn't wait for to do this one. And for me, you know, it's just a great kit. Build quality, again, pretty sturdy, apart from that part that just fell out. It really good, strong, robust. The only bit I've had trouble with that constantly seems to come loose is the bit here, which is I take it the nuclear reactor here at the back, or symbolises that. It does come loose from time to time, that does, and occasionally these vents at the back, but everything else is pretty sturdy, you know, and it's been, you know, on display now for a good few months, and I haven't had any issues with it. So getting back to the first movie, as we see Marty go back to 1955, this is generally what we see. This car here, in this guise. Once in 1955, he's got to obviously get back to the future, and that's when Emmett Brown, or Dr. Emmett Brown, the version from 1955, outrigs it with this pole and hook to capture the lightning from the clock tower. And that literally just sits on the back there. So that's how we sort of see the car towards the end of the film. And once it catches the cable, that hook just whips straight off. Yeah, and the car goes back to 1985. So that's essentially how it's been displayed since last year when I got it. So we did a 3 series build on this, and it has been a really fun build. We took it stage by stage. I don't like to rush Lego. I think I've said it before in the past. I like to stretch these kits out as long as I can. So what I tend to do is I build it over a series of days rather than one hit, and I tend to do a bag at a time. I believe there was 12 bags in this. The instructions came in a nice pouch, and the instructions are pretty hefty. 299 pages of instructions. Again, for your money, you get all the information in the forwarding about the film, the time machine, the icons, and how the model works. I think the instructions with this bit in at the beginning is a really nice touch. Yeah, and again, from here we can see bag 11 has got all the different guises of the time machine, the first film, second film, third film. So for me, it's been a labour of love. Back to the Future, my all-time favourite film growing up in the 70s and the 80s. This was the film to watch, and I can still watch it today with just as much interest as I did back then. I just realised where that part came from, so I'll just pop it back. It's from the back there. So again, we can flip the hood, and some of these parts are going to be interchangeable for when we do the next part of the build. So again, we've got all the information on the back of the box. I try and now keep the boxes. Back when I was younger, I'd rip them open and they'd probably go in the bin. But again, I do like to keep them now. It's for 18 years plus, set 10300, and it's got 1,872 pieces. There are spare parts in that. And again, as we've noticed with the newer sets of Lego, we get spare parts now, which is good. I'm always a fan of that, especially some of these more trickier small parts. So as of today, if you look on the Lego website, this is advertised at £169.99. It is still available as of May 2024, when I'm recording this video. Price point reasonable for the amount of pieces in the kit, I think. It's listed on the website now as hard to find, but they do have availability on the Lego website as of today. So again, that's UK as well, that's pound sterling. So again, for me, it was a birthday present. I didn't actually pay for it, so this is absolutely brilliant. So what I want to do now is I'll put some stickers on when I did the original build. This is the number plate there. Just going to go through the couple of stages that go into now making the bits for the second film, where again we see Marty going this time forward in time, and at the beginning of the film, Doc Brown comes back and he's been to the future, and he's turned the time machine into a fusion-based time machine, which is what we're going to put together now on the back of the time machine. Apologies if you've watched any of my videos before, you'll know that we have a lovebird, and you can probably hear her going absolutely bonkers in the background now. She seems to do that every time we want to record something, but can't do a lot about that. Can't put her outside today. It is absolutely throwing it down. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go around and put this back piece together. I've looked ahead on some of these instructions, and now we're getting into this this piece here. What it does require you to do is take off a couple of bits that we've already put on in order to make the different stages of the films. But that's okay, because we're going to keep it all together, and we'll take a few shots when it's complete, and we put them all back together. I never thought when I started building Lego that you know, back in the 70s and the early 80s, I don't think I ever dreamed that Lego would come out with kits quite like this. It has been an absolute joy of a build, and the fact that you can create all three aspects of the car again has been fantastic. So now we get to this stage here. What we've got to do is we just got to dismantle some of the bits that we've put in here. So first of all, we need to take that out. We need to take these two cables out here, and we need to remove this piece here. Why do we need to remove that? Because we need these two bricks here for the underside of this. Okay, so this then is going to sit. Do we need to remove that? Possibly. We'll just test fit, and yeah, we are going to need to remove that from there. Put our test fit in there. Oh, this is what I meant about those things on the back being quite loose. Not quite fitting perfectly there. There we go, that's better, that's clipped in now. So we just changed that back piece to that. We're now going to make our fusion reactor. So again, we need one part of that, which is that bottom brick there. And we're just going to build up our fusion reactor. As we go, we've got our beer can. So we should have in here, there it is, a top for our beer can. There, fantastic. And our banana. And fans of the film will know that at the beginning of the second film, when the Doc arrives to pick Marty up and take him to the future, he says, "I need fuel." And he goes to the trash and he picks out a beer can and a banana skin, and he drops them into the fusion reactor that we're building now. And I thought that was a really nice little touch to put that in there, because unless you were a true fan of the film, you might not have got it. You might, but for me, I thought that was genius. Again, I put these stickers on, but that is a sticker part. It's sticker number 12 off the pack. Again, if you're new to the channel, you will know I am not a massive fan of the stickers, but hey ho, that's the way Lego is. I much prefer the printed bricks. And then we've got this part back, and we're going to put our lid on with our locking mechanism. Oops. And that closes up like that. And we have our fusion reactor, which then we'll just slot in to the back of the time machine there. Now, this license plate will also go onto there. I'm not going to do that on this video. It just fits into the back there, because in order to get that in, this is a push-out glass piece. It's very tricky, and you've got to take a lot of this back end apart. And when I've done these videos, I'm going to leave it in the original state from the first movie, because that's my favourite movie. So I'm not going to strip all this back end out at this point just to do that. Interestingly as well, so that's what we've got from our second movie, and those eagle-eyed people amongst you will have noticed underneath this here, and in homage to the second movie, if we just flip that over, the wheels turn on the side using mechanical aids, bands, you name it, a little bit of technical Lego there. And we have the flying DeLorean from the second film. Yeah, quite robust. I love that. I thought that was a really fantastic touch. For me, you know, being the fan that I am of the film, to build that in to this car is epic. Again, it's just one motion. The red turny switch or flip switch there, and the wheels will turn on the side. These are, like I say, a little bit of a pain. They do keep coming off quite a lot. And what Lego have done as well, they've put these 4 clear bricks on the bottom there. So if you do want to display it like that, again, the car is not going to move. It's got a stand to sit on. You can take those off if you want to, but I just leave them on all the time, and as you can see, the car moves perfectly well. They don't disrupt the movement of the car, and I just like to leave them on all the time. But the motion of that is absolutely flawless. There's a couple of rubber bands, a couple of cogs, some technical parts to that, which you put together early on in the build. But for me, that is absolutely phenomenal. And there we have it. That is Back to the Future Part 2.